Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. I'm wearing my new concert t-shirt on a whim. I got literally on Wednesday bought tickets for a Friday night concert, but they had a bunch of seats left and they were only $19.50, plus like almost $10 in service fees, of course, but whatever. Still a good deal. For Lost 80s Live, which is a collection of old 80s bands, and they come out and they sing a few songs, like the one song you kind of sort of remember because it was their follow-up single, so you heard it a few times, but it didn't do that well. Then there's a song that you don't really know, and then there's their big hit. There was only one group that was like a legit one-hit wonder where they literally released no other singles, and so you didn't know any of their other songs. Just that one. Everyone else, there were like 2 to 3 songs that you would recognize. I was super upset though because I really wanted to see New Shoes, but New Shoes went on first, and apparently this concert started on time. We arrived at like 7:15. It was at the Ford Amphitheater on Coney Island, so we're on the boardwalk, standing in line to get inside, and you can hear the music. You couldn't see anything from outside, obviously, but you could hear it. And it was bonkers. Like, we got there at like 7:15, and they were singing "I Can't Wait," which is their big hit, so that was the end of their set. And I was like, damn it, who starts a concert on time anymore? I thought, doors open at 6, the show was supposed to, the ticket said it was at 7, and so I figured they'll start 7:30, 8 o'clock. That's what concerts usually are like. But no. And to their credit, there was really only about a 5-minute delay in between groups in the beginning. The later groups, when they had to set up for the, like Naked Eyes and Animotion, they just came out, did a few songs, left, and then there was like 5 minutes while they set up for the next one. When the Romantics came out, that's when it took a little bit longer because they had to set up a lot of stuff. The same thing with Wang Chung, and then with their headliner, which was a flock of seagulls. So they were great. They sounded really good. But it was so much fun, and it was like just a whole bunch of people like dancing and having a good time, enjoying their 80s music, and it was super fun. Except for the annoying kids in the rows in front of us who like. Why are you bringing your child to this because they don't know any of this music? Were you not able to get a sitter? Like, you're paying like almost $30 for that child, and there were multiple children. You're paying $30 for each kid to take them to a show that they don't really care about. And this little girl, by the end of the night, we didn't leave until like 10:30, 10:45, and like, she was exhausted and crying, and I'm like, look what you did to your kid. Anyway. Great show. If it comes in your area and you like 80s music, super good show. And this is a good lineup. They had an ad for like the next tour's lineup, and it wasn't as good. Also, I went to the movies this past weekend, and I saw Mission Impossible Fallout, which is terrific. They basically all are. Like, the Mission Impossible movies have gotten better over time. Because the first ones, my husband doesn't like them, he won't watch them, because I think we watched the first couple. I don't think he watched the third one, because the third one's where it actually starts to become Mission Impossible. Because it's supposed to be a team of people, but it's clearly a Tom Cruise starring vehicle. And by the third movie, they started to give him a team of other operatives, but it's still mostly Tom Cruise. It's a starring vehicle for Tom Cruise. And they don't get to do the cool stuff. He does. To be fair, though, I appreciate that it is actually Tom Cruise dangling from a helicopter or a cliffside or whatnot, and it's not CGI trickery. 9 times out of 10, I feel like it's a legit, real, live stunt. And that's cool, because it feels old school, you know? So many people do CGI trickery nowadays that it's nice. You can't even tell. Like, I was watching, there was one scene, there's a skydiving scene, and I'm like, is this real, or did they, like, blue screen this? Because I can't tell, and it feels real, but I'm not sure. So that's a good thing. Also, I was able to bypass the movie pass restrictions to see this. I almost went last weekend, but then at the last minute changed my mind and didn't purchase the ticket. But Movie Pass is falling apart, and they're raising the price from $10 to $15, but they're adding tons and tons of restrictions, which makes no sense, because why would you say, give us more money and we will give you worse service? You know? Like, that's not how it's supposed to work. But then nothing about Movie Pass is supposed to work. Like, give us $10 and we'll pay all your movie tickets that cost more than $10. Like, what? No, that's not... What? So, but they started restricting movies where you can't see big new releases. Like last weekend, you couldn't see Mission Impossible in theaters. I don't know if you can go to see it with Movie Pass this week. You can't see Christopher Robin this week. But then they're also restricting, like, showings. Like, I wanted to see Teen Titans Go, but I checked this morning, and they're literally offering tickets to one screening, the 5:10 show. None of the other shows are available with Movie Pass. Only the 5:10 screening. And it's already surge priced, and it's an extra $6. And I'm like, no. 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 Even though I know in my mind that I just saw Mission Impossible, and my ticket says $12. I paid $9.95 for that. So if I go see Teen Titans Go, that's going to cost me literally $6 to see it. Which is still cheaper than it would have cost, because it's like a $12 ticket. So it's like seeing it for half price. So I know in my mind that it's still a good deal. The problem is that I shouldn't have to do that at all. I should be able to get the service that I'm paying for. But the way around the Movie Pass restrictions, I've discovered, is to go to this one theater in Manhattan, Cinépolis, because there are 3 theaters in New York City that use the e-ticketing. 2 of them only show indie movies. But Cinépolis on 23rd Street, they show indie movies. They've got like 8 screens, and half of them are indie movies, and half of them are mainstream movies. So I saw Mission Impossible there. And when we got home from the concert on Friday night, I went to go to bed, and it was like almost 12:30, and I'm like, well, it's after midnight. I wonder if this would work. And I opened up the Movie Pass app. I went to e-ticketing, and they had all the screenings for Mission Impossible. I said, I will buy a ticket for the 5:15 screening, and that's the seat I'm going to take, and done. I got my confirmation code, and then I went to the theater at 5 o'clock, picked up my ticket, and saw the movie. So I was actually able to technically buy it the night before. I just had to wait until after midnight. And I had my reserved seat, and it was all good. It wasn't sold out, as it turns out. Probably was opening weekend, but this weekend it was fine. There were plenty of seats left in this theater. Not plenty, but a bunch. So, like, the e-ticketing seems to be the way around all the Movie Pass restrictions, because there's no restrictions on the screenings, there's no surge pricing, all the screenings are available. The problem is that there are not a lot of theaters that do the e-ticketing. And I wonder if you live in a more rural area, if there's any e-ticketing at all. But I recommend using e-ticketing if you have Movie Pass, because otherwise you can't really see much of anything. So, on to gaming. Sorry, that was a long Movie Pass rant. As far as gaming, I did get in a little bit of Luminous on the train, but I will say that that's not ideal, as it turns out. Like I've said before, I prefer playing it portably because I like to use the buttons instead of the D-pad on the Pro Controller, which accidentally drops things sometimes. But you get into a groove with Luminous, and then suddenly you're at your subway stop, and then you have to pause it, and then finish it when you get home, and then you've broken that, you're not in the zone anymore, and you're just like, and you have to get back into it. And I feel like I would have done a little bit better if I had not had to interrupt myself. But yeah, other than a little bit of that on the train, it's all No Man's Sky still. Sorry. So if you don't care about No Man's Sky, you can just shut this off and come back next time, and maybe I'll talk about something else instead of No Man's Sky, even though No Man's Sky is literally all I'm playing at home. It's so good. And I was super excited. I had a major moment in No Man's Sky. I had collected all 16 of the glyphs, and it said, hey, there's a portal on that planet there. And I'm like, because I was on my way to a black hole, but then there's a portal, and I'm like, can't resist a portal. So I went through it, and wound up on this crazy alien world for 10 seconds, and then it shunted me back. But it didn't take me back to that planet, it brought me to an Atlas station, and the Atlas was like, hey, you have a choice to make. And this is like the endgame choice sort of thing. I didn't realize that you got it just by collecting all the glyphs, and suddenly it was like I thought this is what happens when you get to the center of the galaxy. It was like, hey, do you want to keep exploring this galaxy, or do you want to reset the simulation? Spoiler alert, I actually took a day to think about it, and Google, and see what's what, and ponder it, because I kind of wanted to just keep going, and I didn't want to like start over, because I've been playing it for over 200 hours, so I didn't want to like start the game over. But you don't really start over, you start in a new galaxy, but you have all your stuff, so I'm like, oh, it's fine. And you have to choose between 4 different types of galaxies. And obviously, when presented with the tranquil option, I went with that, because that's lovely. And I'm super glad that I did, because, I mean, I don't know what kind of masochist would have picked Raging Galaxy, because you'll have tons of, like, planets that are trying to kill you with toxicity and radiation or whatever. Tranquil Galaxy, there's more forest and jungle planets that are just lovely and pleasant. Which is good, because when I woke up on this forest planet, literally everything was broken. You get to keep everything, but it's all broken. So I had enough elements on me to like do a quick repair of like my life support and my scanner and my mining laser, because I had to be careful about what to fix, because I didn't want to fix something that I didn't need. I needed my mining laser, my scanner, and my life support to stay alive, and then the scanner to find the elements that I needed, and the mining laser to collect them. And then trying to repair all of my life support and my starship pieces and everything on the multi-tool, trying to do that on a raging planet trying to kill me, that would have sucked. But on a lovely forest planet, it was fine. So that worked out fine, and I've fixed pretty much everything now. There's the secondary laser on my ship, the starship that I never use. It needs an element that I can't seem to find anywhere. It's the blue flowers, but you don't collect the element from the blue flowers, it just sort of boosts your system. So I don't really know how you're supposed to collect that element. There must be another source somewhere. But that's fine, because I never use my lasers on my ship anyway. Anytime a pirate attacks me, I just fly away, and they give up. And I have fixed everything on the multi-tool. There were a couple of like scanner add-ons that I was like, I don't need that yet. I'll fix that later. But I eventually got around to it. But I also, I didn't mention this last week, but I think there's 3 kinds of eggs. I forget what the third one is, but the humming eggs, when you open it, there's the albumin pearl inside, which is lovely, and you sell those. But then there's also whispering eggs, which are clustered outside of abandoned buildings, and they're creepy. And inside are scary aliens that want to eat your face. So this week I actually finally was like, you know what? Because I found an abandoned building and I saw the eggs. After searching the abandoned building, I got outside, stood by my ship, and I mining lasered one of the eggs until it exploded. And then the things came out, and I literally, like, I don't even think I saw the things come out. I literally was like, psh, and I jumped in my ship. And then I could hear them outside, so I went into photo mode so that I could turn the camera around and see them. And I took a picture, and then got the hell out of Dodge, because I'm not trying to get killed. No. Because I'm sure, because you blow up one egg and like 4 of these creatures came at me, so I'm like, meh. I'm not going to try to kill all of them at once. That would just be insane. So, I had some fun No Man's Sky adventures this week. So see, it's not just opinions on the game. I'm talking about the actual game and what I did. Because I actually accomplished things and there was story stuff that happened. I reset the galaxy. I reset the simulation. But now I'm just going to keep going through this one, because now it's going to be all tranquil planets and it'll be lovely. I mean, they're not all nice planets. There are still some monster planets trying to kill me, but I think there's more of the nicer planets. Still can't find a base, though. No matter how many nav data I use, I can't ever find a suitable base location. So I'm still looking for a base location. So maybe that's what I'll talk about next time is maybe I'll finally have been able to build a base. And then none of my old stuff will be there and I'll be super annoyed. But I will try to play something else, or talk about something else at least, so that I can not talk about No Man's Sky for a change. Alright, bye!